Good morning, everyone. It's time to call to order our June 18th special called fiscal court meeting. If you would, let's all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance as we begin. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we did leave announcements on our special call agenda this morning because we have folks here with Appalachian Regional Healthcare from Paintsville ARH, and Selena is with us, who is the director of our wonderful local Senior Citizen Center. And so I will turn it over to you all to, if you want to come up here and kind of give us a little back, so that Adam can get you on the live stream, so that we can have some background about the support you're giving our Senior Citizen Center.
I'm Crystal McGathy. I'm here on behalf of Paintsville ARH and the ARH Foundation. Selena, we had heard with the Senior Citizen Center that there were some needs that the seniors had, and ARH is always, here to support our community and support our seniors especially. And we know that there was some needs for some meals and some other things that they had. So on behalf of ARH and the ARH Foundation, we're honored to offer you a check for $5,000 for meals and first aid kits for the use of the Senior Citizen Center.
Very good. No, you're good. No, you're good. I won't photobomb you.
Cut you out.
I'll go here. There we go.
After the rain this morning, you probably
Thank you all very much. Thanks for supporting the Senior Citizen Center. Thank you. I appreciate the ARH and your foundation. Selena, thank you. Absolutely, yeah. And you all don't have, you're welcome to stay, but I know everybody's got stuff to do. So, but thank you all very much. Thank you. We will move on in our agenda. We do not have any bills to approve for payment this morning. We do have some transfers in item 5, so we just need approval for those transfers. These are kind of some year-end, just accounting actions that we need to take related to some transfers of smaller line items. So just need approval for those transfers.
Make that motion.
Motion by Commissioner Click. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Salyer. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Next is approval of the second reading of the fiscal year 26 budget. This would also include salary schedule and standing orders. So the budget was sent to the Department of Local Government, the first reading. It was approved with no comments. The budget was acceptable to the Department of Local Government, so they returned it to us. And so there's no changes in front of you for the second reading. So if there's no questions or any other comments on the budget, then we would like to have 3 motions associated with the budget. We would like to have a motion to approve the budget first, please.
I make a motion we approve the budget.
Have a motion by Commissioner Sayers, or second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Click. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Next, we'd like to have a motion to approve the salary schedule.
I make a motion we approve the salary schedule.
Motion by Commissioner Sayers, or second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Click. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And lastly, we'd like to have a motion to approve the standing orders associated with the budget.
Make a motion we approve the standing orders.
Motion by Commissioner Sayers, or second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Click. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you all. Next, did we give them the health insurance
Yes.
sheets? So you have, for your consideration, approval of the health insurance plan. We discussed this in the last meeting. I think we are experiencing an increase of about 14%, which we checked with some of our other folks, other counties, and I think they're all experiencing increases in that same range. So it appears it's an industry issue. But again, we are recommending that increase in health insurance is not passed on to our employees, that we would absorb that in our budget, in the fiscal court budget. We just need approval of the health insurance plan for fiscal year 26.
I make that motion.
Motion by Commissioner Salyers, or second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Click. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Next is approval of the administrative code. This is something we do every year, so you have a copy of that as well. there was the only changes that are in the administrative code are related to the ranges of compensation, and I adjusted those just to accommodate the current salary schedule. So other than that, there were no changes in the administrative code, but we do need to approve that annually. So for fiscal year 26, effective July 1, just need a motion to approve the administrative code.
Make that motion.
Motion by Commissioner Click. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Sire. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Next is approval of the second reading of the ordinance related to special purpose vehicle use on public roadways. This is the second reading of the ordinance. This is associated with Senate Bill 63, and I want to comment on this as we go to the second reading. That first of all, this bill is designed for at least two purposes. One is to try to improve safety of something that already exists, and that is the use of special purpose vehicles on public roadways. That's already happening. So this allows for a stepped up safety, which is important. It also lends to a continued economic development opportunities associated with adventure tourism. And if you had not seen the numbers last week, I thought it was important to mention that the economic numbers were released last week for tourism in Johnson County, and we actually, I think, grew about $1 million, I believe, year over year in tourism dollars, and it's quite eye-opening. The economic impact for tourism in Johnson County is about $28.3 million a year. So that's obviously supported by things that are happening in the county. I mean, things that have been here for a while, be it the tourist locations like Loretta Lynn's home place and the things in Van Leer, obviously Paintsville Lake, and the improvements that are happening there are lending toward increase in tourism, as well as all of our outdoor adventure tourism opportunities, Dawkins Line, all of our trails, those type things. And so obviously, if you look at economic development, tourism is a key piece of that for us in Johnson County, and the legislators, with the approval of Senate Bill 63, are using this as an opportunity for counties to be able to continue that momentum of growth in economic opportunities and specifically in tourism. And so the ordinance for the special purpose vehicles with Senate Bill 63 allows for furtherance of that. But again, it obviously puts some safety requirements on. It requires you to be a licensed driver. It requires you to have insurance. It requires you to be inspected, to register. There's a lot of requirements associated with it that obviously improve safety as it relates to the use of these vehicles. Again, the second reading does not change from the first reading that we have already approved. It goes into effect July 27th, which is when the state put the deadline or set the date for it to become effective. We expect to get full regulatory guidance sometime around the 1st of July. Laura Pack is here. She's our Trail Towns catalyst for Johnson County. She also represents us on the First Frontier organizational board. First Frontier is the organization that was established by state legislature for 19 or 20 counties, to help further adventure tourism with ATV trails, and she obviously has worked on this a lot, been and interacted with the legislators. But First Frontier meets every month to talk about how that they can further the opportunities associated with ATV trails. Johnson County, as you all are aware, we have 2 trail areas, one being in Van Leer, and one being in the Hargis area out in Old Springs area. So those are our 2 trail areas. And so we are probably further along with our trail leasing than a lot of our neighbors, thanks to the work of Laura and some of the folks that work for First Frontier by talking to property owners. But this just kind of moves us further along in this opportunity. And I think it's important to remember, too, that we have lodging that is popping up. I won't say popping up, but is being created throughout the county with Airbnb opportunities because of these type of activities, because of the ATV trails, as well as the other trails in Paintsville Lake and all the opportunities we have going on, that the Airbnbs are getting more popular in our county as well. And so when we talk about trying to grow jobs, we traditionally think about our recruitment to our industrial side and other businesses, but if we can start 10 businesses with 3 employees each, that's 30 jobs, and that can be the equivalent of even a larger employer that we might secure, on a more traditional industrial site. So this just goes toward continuing to help us grow economically, because as these folks come here, they're spending money here. When we get visitors, they spend money. We had examples of that last weekend as we wrapped up Trail Days. We had folks who were here from out of state who stayed in an Airbnb and who were spending money in our community, eating in our restaurants, buying gasoline in our gas stations. So there's obviously a lot of economic benefit to it. But just wanted to share some additional information, and I thought it was interesting too when the numbers came out last week about the impact for 2024 in Johnson County, economic impact of tourism at being over $28 million. So it's a significant player in our economy here. So we entertain a motion to approve the second reading of the special purpose vehicle ordinance.
Make that motion.
Motion by Commissioner Click. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Salyer. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Next item is I'd like to have approval from the court to re-advertise for bids related to the site work at the Hager Hill Athletic Field project. Those bids came in over budget, and I'd like to have permission to re-advertise that, please.
Make that motion.
Motion by Commissioner Salyer, second.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Click. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Same for item 11. I would like to have approval to re-advertise for bids for the Van Leer Community Pavilion. Those bids came in over budget as well, so we would like to have opportunity to rebid that also.
Make that motion.
Motion by Commissioner Click, second.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Salyer. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item
When will
12.
those be out to bid?
When? I'll get with Dewey Bocook on those, and we'll look at the bid packages and revise those, but I would think we would, probably in the next 2 weeks, they will go back out for advertisement, yes. It won't be the next week, probably the following week. Item 12 is approval to renew the line of credit with City National Bank for FEMA projects. We have had a line of credit for several years now for our FEMA projects. We have not had to use it in the last year or so. I'm hopeful we won't have to. It doesn't cost us anything if we don't use it, but it's good to have. As we know, we are very disaster prone these days, and some of our projects get pretty significant in dollars, and we simply, it helps us to cash flow through while we wait for reimbursement. So the rate did go down for the next fiscal year. It's at 4.9% is the rate for the line of credit, and I think, Tammy, that was down from 5.06 maybe, or 5.26.
I think it was 06.
Yeah, I think it's 5.06 or something, I think, was what we're currently under, but the rate went down for the next fiscal year to 4.9, and that's a fixed rate, and we only have that's only applicable if we actually have to draw funds down. So we just need approval to renew that line of credit for fiscal year 26.
Make that motion.
Motion by Commissioner Click, second.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Salyer. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Next, item 13 is approval to renew the line of credit with City National Bank for the United States Army Corps of Engineers Section 202 project, same rate as well, 4.9%, and this is obviously helps with that project for real estate purposes, costs associated with real estate, which are reimbursable by the Corps of Engineers. Just need approval to renew that line for fiscal year 26.
Make that motion.
Motion by Commissioner Salyer. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Click. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Have they talked-
I'm sorry?
Have they talked any more about when they're going to start back on the project?
Well, it's still ongoing right now. I mean, they're wrapping up phase 2. And then phase 3 is still moving forward. They're just going to split it into north and south, but 2 projects, but all the acquisitions and everything are still moving forward. Yeah. Last item is approval of the MOA with the City of Paintsville related to financial support for the ambulance service. This draft only has some minor changes to it. One is we added language at our county attorney's recommendation that basically just makes sure that this document is focused on the fact this is strictly for financial support to the ambulance service, that we're not getting into the operations of it, we're not creating an agency relationship, and this is just simply for purposes of providing support for the ambulance service that serves the entire county of Johnson. As far as the accounting, there was some question, I think, that was raised about how to provide the information for reimbursement purposes, and we basically modified the language to essentially provide us with the paid bills because it is a reimbursement agreement. So I'd asked originally in the draft for like a summary invoice, but we decided to just, if they will send us the copies of all the paid bills, that we reimburse accordingly, but it obviously has a maximum amount up to $200,000. So in structure, it did not really change. So just need approval for that MOA.
Make that motion.
Motion by Commissioner Click, second.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Salyer. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that is it for our special call meeting, so we just need a motion to adjourn.
Make that motion.
Motion by Commissioner Click. Second by
Second.
Commissioner Salyer. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We stand adjourned.